Hello Nerdgenic Nation and welcome to History of. I'm your host and resident superhero nerd Aaron Waller, and this is the series where we do a deep dive into various comic book characters, both heroes and villains, and give a little bit more insight into who they are and why they do what they do. And now that it's October, I want to give a little bit more insight into some more creepy and kooky characters that you may not know too much about, but this one in particular has made several appearances. He's had a movie, he's had several TV appearances, he's had his own comic book run, obviously, as well as a couple more animated shorts. But I wanted to give some more insight into this character because he is just that awesome, and that's John Constantine. John Constantine was created by Alan Moore, Rick Veitch, Steve Bissette, and John Totleben, and first appeared in the saga of Swamp Thing number 37 in 1985. And fun fact, the musician Sting was actually the inspiration for the early look and design of John Constantine that would later become known for his notorious chain smoking and signature trench coat. In Constantine's first official appearance, he was considered the supernatural advisor to Swamp Thing and would later be depicted as a sorcerer of questionable morality. He would make several cameos in various DC comics, including Crisis on Infinite Earths number 4 in the same year as his debut, but it wouldn't be until 1988 that he would be given his own comic book run titled Hellblazer, where his backstory would be explored a bit further. Constantine was born in Liverpool, where his mother died giving birth to him and his stillborn brother after an earlier pregnancy termination forced by John's father, Thomas. Thomas would blame John for the death of his wife, and the two grew very distant and did not like one another very much. During their childhood, John and his older sister would briefly live with their aunt and uncle in an attempt to escape their father's abuse and incarceration. And it's during this time that John would learn that his bloodline and ancestry were known as the Laughing Magicians, who were mages over synchronicity and were famous for bluffing and tricking gods. The discovery of this lineage drives John to practice magic at a young age, and he would hide his childhood innocence and vulnerability in a box to rid himself of it. As a teenager, he would run away from home after a botched curse caused his father to become weak and frail. He would later become involved in occult circles in London and travel to other cities and visit the US, where he would meet and begin a relationship with Zatanna. John would then go on to start a band and even go touring, but his first adventure into occult heroism would end up being a complete disaster. After discovering the aftermath of a magical party gone wrong in which a hideous monster was conjured, John would convince his bandmates to conjure a demon of their own to battle the creature. Unfortunately, the demon wasn't actually under their control and ends up destroying the original monster and even taking John's friends and a small child to hell. Constantine would try to correct this but would be traumatized and suffer a nervous breakdown. He would even be committed to a mental hospital that he would be in and out of for several years. He would later use magic and his deceptive talents to free the young girl the demon took and be relieved of his nightmares by the character Dream, after he gets Constantine to help him retrieve his sands. Constantine would continue to have various adventures involving his family members' connection to the occult as well as traveling the world. He would eventually be murdered after accepting his fate to die by the Three Fates, but it would later be revealed that he actually faked his death. When DC rebooted with the New 52, his past would be slightly changed in issue number 14 to that of a childhood botched spell that would start a fire in his home and kill his parents, though he would still become a snarky trickster. He would also become a leader of the Justice League Dark team that includes Zatanna, Etrigan the Demon, Deadman, Swamp Thing, and others. In DC's Rebirth, his original origins would once again resurface, and the character would continue a lot of the stories and themes set in his Hellblazer run. Constantine's comic history is extremely muddled and filled with tons of characters and wild stories, so what I mentioned here is just the tip of the iceberg. John Constantine made his first live-action appearance in 2005's Constantine, where he'd be played by Keanu Reeves. And although the look and origin of the character may be vastly different from everything that I've listed here in this video, it's still an amazing movie that I highly recommend checking out and will continue to be one of my personal favorites. He would later make small screen appearances with a more comic accurate look being portrayed by Matt Ryan in his own short-lived series, as well as also appear in the CW's Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow. There have been rumors that the character would re-emerge during DC's live-action Justice League Dark adaptation, which has been on and off again through the years, though he has appeared in 2017's animated title of the same name, as well as several other DC animated appearances, like in 2018's web series Constantine City of Demons and 2020's Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. And Constantine may seem like your run-of-the-mill type of guy with some really bad luck and some very odd interests, but I can promise you he's anything but. Constantine can dabble in just about any area. He's extremely smart, he's an expert in hand-to-hand combat, he's a master tactician and manipulator, but he's best known for his talents and knowledge of the occult and magic. He's an expert user of necromancy, telekinesis, exorcism, pyrokinesis, illusion projection, teleportation, chronokinesis, and so much more. So needless to say, you don't want to mess with this guy whether you're dead or alive. So those are some of the things you need to know about John Constantine. Did you learn anything in this video you may not have known otherwise? Let me know down in the comment section down below, as well as let me know of any suggestions you may have for future characters you would like to see on this History of series. I need suggestions, and your suggestion may become next week's video, so go ahead and leave me a comment and let me know. And while you're down there, be sure to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell notification so you don't miss on any future videos from me or the rest of the Nerdgenic team, like Jake's awesome video where he talks about what happened to Cooking Mama for the PS4, or any of my awesome other History of videos like the History of Kamala Khan, aka Miss Marvel, both of which you can check out on screen, or hit the subscribe button to make sure you don't miss on any future content. But other than that, thank you guys so much for joining us. We really do appreciate it, and we hope to see you in the next video.